Well, hello everybody. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular, and today I have some copper here. People ask me a lot, like, hey, what do you think about copper? Do you think it's a good investment? I think it's definitely interesting for sure. It's very cheap in comparison to silver. It's dirt cheap. In comparison to gold, it's beyond dirt cheap. You're talking about like what, like 460 a pound right now. Here's the problem with copper, and you forgive me if I'm wrong. This tote right here that I have, this copper, and this is scrap wire. And, the problem is there's a lot of scrap wire here. I mean, this is about 40 pounds right here of scrap wire. And at the time, I paid about $4 a pound. It's come up from there, a little bit, here and there. It's doing okay. Imagine if I had bought maybe an ounce of gold worth of value, which is now about $2,000 for an ounce of gold. Imagine if I had $2,000 worth of copper. Where am I going to put that stuff? I need another tote, and another tote, another tote. It just gets to be to the point where it is just so crazy space consuming. It's cool though. It's definitely cool. It's a play that may be worth a lot more money one day. But for me, the space, I just can't justify it. Some people say, hey, buy copper cents, pre-83 United States cents, because those are a high grade of copper. Here's the problem with that. Again, you have a lot of space issue, and then you also have the issue of, are you allowed to melt them? Not for profit, it might be okay, but who's going to take that stuff in to actually trade you cash for those when you need it? Now, for this stuff, mostly what I do is I make myself some little copper bars, and they are pretty. It's a lot of work to make them for sure, but there's a better way, in my opinion, to invest in copper. Silver is great. Can be a big time space issue too. Gold is awesome if you can get into the price of it. Copper can be great, but man, the space, but there's a better way. I'm telling you, there's a better way to get into the copper game without worrying about any of the space and hassle of holding onto this stuff in your garage. Let me talk about that right now. Well, hello, here I am in my office with my Save the Drama for Your Llama coffee cup, and I am here with YORKF Metals on my computer. I want to talk to you about this company right here and why it's kind of beneficial to invest in something like this rather than a bunch of copper. Silver I can justify, gold I can definitely justify. A lot less space is involved unless you start getting really deep into silver. But copper, man, it's such a cheap metal right now. Here we are, $4.72 a pound. This is an ounce right here when it talks about silver. We're talking about a pound right here for copper. So YORKF Metals, they discover this stuff, they're mining it, they get this stuff out of the ground. Companies like this right here is what I'd rather worry about when it comes to investing in copper. So first I do want to say that, thank you to YORKF Metals. Big shout out to them and appreciate them for sponsoring this video. Glad to have them on board and helped open my eyes to this company. And some of the insider stuff going on with them. I got to explain that to you in this video. You're going to like that information. Also, I want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. As you all know, I'm the guy on YouTube that makes coin videos and precious metals videos. So definitely check down in the description of this video here for more information. Do your own research, check it out, and yeah, definitely check it out. Give it a chance for sure, because if you look at the ticker symbol, which is on the OTC markets right here, and it's simple, right? It's YORK with an F, YORKF, and it's only trading at 87 cents a share right now. And I'm going to talk about that here in a second. I'm going to show you their stock prices, but let's go over first kind of what they're about. And this is their website, by the way. I'll have that information again down in the description of the video. But it says that YORKF Metals Incorporated is an exploration and development company focused on the York Harbor Copper Zinc Silver Project, a past-producing mine located approximately 27 kilometers from Corner Brook, Newfoundland. The company plans to continue drilling the 11 known mineralized zones and test other new massive sulfide targets, like the number 4 Brook showing, while focusing on gaining access to the 400 level and sea level adits. So very interesting right there that a lot of people have the complaint, right? And I hear this oftentimes with companies that are exploring and drilling, but they're not actively pulling up large amounts of copper yet. They're like, whoa, they're just finding it. They're not, they're not getting money, you know what I mean, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of times these companies have to focus on making sure that they know where the stuff is, right? They're exploring, they're making sure that when they do drill, they're going to hit the jackpot. And that's typically what they do. Now, if they drill and they pull up, some samples, and the samples have good amounts of ore inside of them, they own that area. Okay, it's not like they have no money at all from anything, because they own the land, right? And the land is rich, full of this metal, and so they do have a lot of money. It's just under the ground at the moment until they pull it out. So, potentially they could sell that land if they needed to. It's not like they're, a zero money company. I'd like to talk about that for a second, because a lot of people have that complaint. I do want to show the York Harbor Metals projects. They do have 2 projects. They own some of Phoenix Gold right here, but York Harbor is their flagship. And there it is right there. Hopefully you can see that. Again, go to their website, check this stuff out. That way you can see it better. But there's the area right there. And interestingly enough, they've actually expanded this area by about 6 times the original area. See right here, it says, it was 3,900 and it went originally 60 or 650. So they got licensed to kind of go larger right there, and I think it's probably a smart idea. There's so much to explore there. But they plan to do more drilling, and there's some of the samples right there. How cool is that, huh? I'd like to just drill down in my my backyard somewhere and see what comes up. But that's so cool, just mineral rich right there. And so now this particular location, this in their flagship project of York Harbor, they mostly get copper and zinc, but you can see right here AG, AU. There's also some silver and gold that exists. I think they talked about some cobalt. So there's some other things too that do exist in that area. So, but the main focus is copper. And one interesting thing, and before I get into their stock price, I think I had it here. Yes, they talk about a VMS. And I want to read this right here to talk about what the VMS is. So it says the company has proceeded with expanding drilling programs in the main area, with the exploration drilling targeting several identified volcanic hosted massive sulfide, or the VMS. Now the VMS, as you can see right here from this little bit of information, but VMS apparently is extremely rare. And in fact, in Canada, there's only 350 VMS deposits that ever have been made. So that's extremely rare. You think of how large Canada is, and 350 have been found. And they account for 27% of all copper production, and 49% of all zinc production, and 40% of all silver production, these VMS deposits. And the thing that makes them kind of good is that they're massive, right? They're huge, and they got a long life. So the fact that this stuff right here is going to last, probably our lifetimes, as far as how long they can drill it, it's kind of interesting, I think. So the fact that they actually have a VMS deposit that they're actively, engaging in is pretty phenomenal for a company that's trading at less than $1 a share. And you can see, actually, in fact, let's talk about their share price, because I think this is actually a pretty good opportunity to get into it. Where did I put it? Right here. Can you see that? Let me move this over just a smidge there. So York Harbor Metals, again, in the OTC markets now, it's York with an F. So YORKF. Real simple. York with an F. And right now it's at 87 cents a share. And you can see that it's come up a little bit. And today, as far as when I was making this video, it's come up. But if you look at the 6-month chart, I see a steady increase. Now, there's definitely some pockets where it has come down, good buying opportunities to buy in the dip. And, these tend to go with the market. Metals comes down, something happens in the world, blah, 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 that causes metals to go down. And metals and, the companies that mine the stuff tend to drop. It's just how it works. We're seeing stuff going on overseas, and I don't want to get into it right now, but you know what I'm talking about. They mine a lot of metals over there. And so whenever you hear something crazy happening overseas, you're going to see metals prices come up. And metals, being copper, is one of the most important metals that we have. Whatever you're watching me from right now, the things that I'm showing you information on, all has some copper wiring in it. That stuff I showed you at the beginning of the video, that big tub, that's all copper wiring. One interesting thing about copper wiring is here in the United States, at least, regulation says that for our homes and everyday use of copper wire, it should be 999 fine. Very nice, because it's super easy to refine that way. It's already refined. It's pure copper as it is. Now, if you get stuff from overseas, China, blah blah blah, and then you try to ship that stuff in back to the United States, it may not be as pure, of course, but here it's regulated that it should be 999 fine when you're using it in your homes, and et cetera, et cetera. So a little bit of information right there. But as you can see, 87 cents, I see a potential here. I see a dip right here with overall in the last 6 months a steady incline in the stock price. And so I think that right here is actually, it could be a nice time to get in. Go back to one of their highs right here. I think it was $1 something. So it's down from $1.05, one of their highs, pretty recently. And here, even after a year right there, you can see this incline. This company has just been doing very well. These dips right here, pay attention to those. That's when you want to buy in. And I think we're in one right now. We're in a little bit of an uptrend here. I think we're in that buying opportunity still. So pay attention to this company, man. York Harbor Metals. Again, OTC markets, YORKF. York with an F. Somebody who else is paying attention to this company greatly is Mr. Eric Sprott. If you don't know who Eric Sprott is, Google his name. You'll find out that he's one of Canada's most richest people, a billionaire, and he invests in a lot of companies. That's how he makes his money. And one company he happens to be invested in greatly, you guessed it right here, York Harbor Metals. He is invested in them to a decent percent. I think he's got a little bit less than 10% ownership in the whole company. And he just, as far as I've researched, he's just bought some stock. I think it was like late last November. So these guys that invest in these rich people, they don't usually like to just invest short term, because then there's a lot of short term taxes you pay. If you're an investor, you kind of know about those short term capital gains taxes. But if you can invest for a year or longer, that's when you can start reaping more benefits, because you're paying less in taxes. So it would probably be worth it for him and people like him that are investing in this company to hold it for at least a year, right? That's what I'm thinking. And here's some more insider information right here. I don't know if I'm allowed to show this. I don't know how that works, but just pretend like you didn't see it if I'm not allowed to show it. I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how this works. But you can see this person right here has been buying up shares of this company like crazy, just little by little, just trickling it out. And you can see the dates right here. The last time that I have on record looks like March 16th. So pretty recently. So again, these people want to hold that for at least a year, right? In my eyes, that's the smart thing to do. So this person is committed. He believes in this company, along with Eric Sprott, believing in this company right here. So I think it's going to go up. I think this stock price right here, I think we're in a lull right now, a little bit of a dip, and it's going to go up. And as copper is more and more needed, which it's in everything electrical, it's all over your house, it's all over the things you're looking at. Like I said right now, it's something that you have to have in everyday life. Copper is everywhere. Electric vehicles use more and more copper than just combustion vehicles. It's something that you're just going to be living with, right? And you don't realize how important copper is, and you don't think about it much because it's such a cheap metal, but it's a super industrial metal. It's everywhere. And as the demand and the need and more people that exist in this world, so too the demand of this stuff goes up, and there goes the price, right? Supply and demand. It's going to go up and up and up, and it's going to have a trickle effect to these people like York Harbor Metals, who's actually getting this stuff. Those people right there, when the price goes up, their price is going to go up too, and it's inevitable. It's just something that's going to happen. Metals of all kinds are going to go up. Industrial metals are huge right now. As you probably know from watching the channel and other people's channels like mine, industrial metals are big talking points right now. Yeah, I mean, I love this stuff. I love this. Here it is again. They're kind of their flagship, the York Harbor mines. Big, and again, they've almost like times it by 6 where they're able to go, and still lots to explore. Very interesting company. I highly suggest you look into it. I'll give you all the information I can down the link below, in the description of the video. Just check out their website, peruse around, see what you think, man. Do your own research for sure. I've done a little bit here for you. I've talked about it just briefly, but check them out. Here's some contact information and their website. Just, for funsies, I'll just say it. So in case you just want to listen and you don't want to actually have to click on a simple little link down below the video, it's just YORKHarborMetals.com. Pretty simplistic. And again, man, check out their ticker symbol. Maybe just keep an eye on it if you're worried. I mean, but I think it's going to keep going up. It's something that I am heavily interested in. And again, York with an F in the OTC markets. York with an F. YORKF. So simple. So simple. Watch this price, man. Watch this. And maybe, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months from now, let's see where this thing is. Let's see how it works out, huh? And you can say, hey, Speg, you were right or you were wrong in about 4 or 5 months. We'll see. Anyways, I've given you the information right there. I've shown you where to look, and I suggest you check it out. I got to go for now. Do you want to hold copper in your garage in giant totes, or do you want to just go ahead and get into a company that's exploring and finding it and getting it out of the ground, and just do it that way for a metal that would just take up so much space? Because again, copper, that price right there is by the pound. These prices right here, silver and gold, show by the ounce. Copper is by the pound. So a much different point of price, is it not? I got to go for now. Appreciate you for watching. Check out the information down in the description of the video. Spegtacular, though, is out.